to do. It's Dr. Fred's design for a super battery. It's capable of storing up to 1 gigavolt with a charging time of only 0.01 seconds. Wow! I've got the plans.
Quick, we have to flush them to Hoagie.
How did you get over there?
My ingenious super battery design, please.
You really flushed them.
Yes.
Down the toilet.
No, through time. Using the highly sophisticated time flux hydraulic vortex chamber I've installed in each chronogen, you can flush small inanimate objects to each other through time. Flush small inanimate objects to each other through time.
Hello? Dr. Fred, can you hear me? Drat.
Did you hear something?
No, let's see if what's-his-name catches on.
Oh, great. I'm stuck in colonial times, tentacles are taking over the world, and now the toilet's backing up.
Hoagie, come over here. It's your old pal, Dr. Fred.
Dr. Fred, how'd you get in there?
I want you to pick up those plans you see in the chronogen, Hoagie. Bring them to Red Edison. He's my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. He'll know what to do.
You need the plans to make a super battery so you can plug in your chronogen.
Okay, if you say so, Bernard.
Good boy. Does he have any experience with electronics?
Well, I once saw him take 3,000 volts directly through his head without batting an eye.
Didn't he pass out?
Well, he was already passed out when it happened.
Time for me to save the world, I guess.
Ding, 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 ding. This is that we talked about a little bit when Dave and I played through. And originally, you could play all 3 characters right away. Remember that?
Is that true?
Oh, yeah, you could play all the characters from the very beginning. And we had our first pizza orgy where we tested the game out, and people were like, "Oh, there's so many options," and they were overwhelmed. So now we unlocked it. So you have to play as Bernard for a little while, and then you do something.
So as soon as Hoagie gets that
I'm afraid not. And your friend in the future
alive.
Get me out of here! I like trees and everything, but this one has got to go.
Okay, I flushed it.
Ding, 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 ding. This is that we talked about a little bit when Dave and I played through. And originally, you could play all 3 characters right away. Remember that?
Is that true?
Oh, yeah, you could play all the characters from the very beginning. And we had our first pizza orgy where we tested the game out, and people were like, "Oh, there's so many options," and they were overwhelmed. So now we unlocked it. So you have to play as Bernard for a little while, and then you do something that makes it so you can play Hoagie. And then Vern's the last.
And what about the other 3 kids?
They got cut.
There were 3 other kids?
They were 3 other kids. Do you remember who they were?
No, I don't remember anything about 3 other kids.
I have a piece of paper that has a picture of them.
Moonglow,
Chester,
Chester,
and Razor.
And Chester became...
Chester and Moonglow ring a bell.
Chester became Ned and Ted.
Wait, not Ned and Ted. Jed and...
Or whoever they were.
Jed and...
Ned and Jed.
Ned and Jed.
Okay.
Ned and Jed. And Moonglow just went away. Yeah. And Razor went away as well.
I mean, I stole the character design from Chester and said, I like that. I'll use that for these guys. And put them in a powdered wig.
Why do the work again? Really?
Exactly.
There's something in the Chronojohn. It's empty.
How about an amendment that the president has to be a human being?
Please, this is serious business.
You're right.
That one looks like it's from a local hardware store.
I'll use the Chronojohn.
I don't think I can put that in the Chronojohn. I don't think I can put that in the Chronojohn.
Say, that's a left-handed hammer, you know. I invented it myself. It was for my ungrateful slob of a left-handed son. Oh, well.
Hey.
What is it?
You look kind of familiar.
Of course I do. I'm Red Edison, the inventor, not to mention owner of this inn. Perhaps you've seen my picture in some important scientific journal. Then again, maybe not.
Do you know Ben Franklin?
Franklin? I would never associate with that overstuffed goofball. He has the stupidest idea about glasses with one red lens and one blue one.
What are you doing?
I'm inventing, you simpleton. What's it look like I'm doing?
I know an inventor who looks a bit like you.
Well, it's not one of my sons, that's for sure. It appears that I, Red Edison, foremost genius of my day, am to be the last in a long line of gifted inventors. My nearly indistinguishable sons have decided that they want to be artists. I think it was Jed's idea. Or is it Ned? Ah, well, the left-handed one at any rate. Must be some sort of bad blood on their mother's side.
Well, see you later.
You might if you cut that hair a bit shorter. Super battery, eh? Brilliant design. Sometimes I amaze myself. Now all I need is oil, vinegar, and some gold. What's this? Help wanted, moronic drone, assist genius, yada yada yada. Well, I'm the only genius around, and you look dumb enough.
So
pick up your lab coat and get to work.
It looks more like a raincoat than a lab coat.
Here I am, don't get your curls in an uproar. Excuse me, Mr. Washington. Boy, what a mess.
I told you guys I'll get to the flag next. I'm working as fast as I can.
Hey, chill. Take your time.
Don't tell me you've got another design change for the flag.
I've got another design change for the flag.
I knew it. What's the current brainstorm from our fickle founding fathers?
It should have a hologram on it somewhere.
Oh, what the heck. At this point, I'd do anything just to have it over with. Put the pattern on the table, and I'll look at it when I'm done with this job.
Well, you know, I remember we would deliver a piece of music, and of course it's comprised mostly of MIDI note events, which is just a tiny little piece of data within the MIDI stream. Note on, and it happens at this velocity on this channel to this instrument and whatever. And I would deliver a piece of music, and the programmer would turn to me and say, Clint, this is over 32K.
Yeah, it's huge.
32 kilobytes. 32 kilobytes. You got to cut this thing down.
Who do you think you are, Mozart?
Yeah. He said, we can't take anything bigger for this scene than 24 kilobytes. So I'd go back and thin the percussion. I'd sometimes have to cut a whole section of the music out to get it down to 20.
Well, sometimes there was pushback, though, too, because we'd say, all right, look, 10%, we get 10%. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember the pushback.
Yeah.
I don't remember these technical discussions about the size of the music files.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, and I remember specifically 32K was often too big.
That's why the iMuse system got called the iMuse system, because it was originally called the sound drivers, and then everybody got all upset because drivers can't occupy a whole floppy disk or whatever it was that the system occupied.
Hi, Horsey.
Oh, hi yourself.
Wow, you can talk.
Wow, so can you. What a coincidence.
I didn't think horses could talk.
Maybe they just never had anything to say to you. Ever think of that?
You mean horses have been snubbing me my whole life?
Well, if you want to put it that way.
Is this some kind of a trick?
I don't do magic. I'm just a horse.
Nice teeth.
Thanks. I paid quite a bit for them.
Did I mention how great your teeth look?
Thanks again.
What's a nice horse like you doing in a place like this?
Hey, I live here. What are you doing here?
I'm trying to get back to the future and save the world.
The future, huh? And I thought that Franklin guy was off his nut.
Well, I gotta go.
See you later.
Ahem. The LALR compiler is constructed by the following method. First, develop a rigorous elective grammar. If the elements have NP completeness, the crunchy factor can be ignored. Blah, 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 blah. Whoa. Question is, which one's stuffed and which one's the real McCoy?
I assure you that we are both real, but we are neither one of us McCoys. We are Edisons, Ned and Jed.
Who's who?
Does it really matter? Even our dear father can't tell us apart. He only knows that one of us is left-handed while the other is right, but that neither of us are following in his tiny scientific footsteps. Hold still, Jed! So, I'm almost too frightened to ask, are you the marble delivery man? Or the model?
I'm the model. Should I take my clothes off now?
No. No, you most definitely should not. We couldn't get your body shape right anyway, unless we cemented 2 slabs of marble together, but then your statue would have a big seam in it.
That's okay. It would have one anyway.
Look, don't call us. We'll call you.
Dang. I'm the delivery man, okay, if I unload in here?
Actually, we are well supplied with medium, so thank you, no.
This ain't medium, it's the extra large stuff.
Please go away. We artists are very sensitive to your kind of people.
What kind of people?
Big, dumb people.
Sorry, hope I haven't jostled you.
Too late.
Get away from that!
I don't wanna.
Oh no! I've lost it! Oh, where hath gone the muse that once guided my hand with such care? Must inspiration be so transitory? Must art be so cruel? I'm a failure. Don't say that, Ned. Father was right. We Edisons are made to be scientists, not artists. Dear brother, we must be strong in these times of creative adversity. Why don't you let me take over for a while? I'll clean this rubble up and start over. You relax. Have a cappuccino. I'm glad we switched places. I think you're coming out quite well.
Well, you know what they say. If you want to save the world, you gotta push a few old ladies down the stairs.
By the way, that Ben Franklin piece of music combines the Day of the Tentacle theme with Yankee Doodle.
Right.
Wait, can you sing a little bit of that for us? Because I missed that.
So one goes dee da 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 da, and the other one goes da 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 da
Right.
da
Yeah.
da 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 da, and they go together.
And they go
Wait, so
together.
how do you put them together?
You just play them at the same time. Like,
oh, really?
Oboe plays one and flute plays the
Yeah.
other at the same
I
time.
want to get Clint and Peter to sing that together in
All right,
harmony.
ready?
Ready?
I'll do the tentacle.
Okay. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Dun, dun, bum, 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 dun, 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 dun.
Well, something like that.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Sounds like the cat's caught a moose up there.
All right, paint. Yo.
Hello?
What's up, you cold?
Cold? I'm freezing.
Why don't you build a fire?
Well, I keep asking Jefferson to build a fire, but he won't. Says he needs the log for posterity and won't part with it.
He's going to give the log to starving children?
I don't get any respect around here. Why, I bet if George I spent the winter in Valley Forge, Washington was cold, we'd get some heat in here.
Awesome blanket there, dude.
Thank you. It was given to me by my dear old colorblind Aunt Hattie.
What are you guys doing in here?
We're writing writing the...
We're drafting a constitution for the United States.
Don't say draft. You'll only make me colder.
Wimp.
Well, why don't you put a coat on?
I'm wearing a coat, you nitwit. I've even got this blanket, which makes me itch, and I'm still freezing.
Shouldn't you guys be working instead of just sitting there?
Writer's block. We can't think of any amendments or anything, so we put a suggestion box over there. I don't suppose you have any brilliant ideas.
What about free sandwiches for all roadies?
No, there's no such thing as...
Don't say it, dude. I've heard it before. Well, I gotta go, dude. The Constitutional Convention invites your comments, critiques, amendments to the Constitution. Boy, it's sure quiet in here. I wonder if there might be any ideas worth discussing in the suggestion box. Maybe somebody should take a look. I say, lads, I have an idea.
Does it have anything to do with starting a fire?
No. I was thinking it's about time we open the suggestion box. Don't you agree?
Sure, George, if you say so.
Yes, whatever you think is fine with us.
Excellent.
What's he thinking? No one of any importance has been here all day. What could be in the suggestion box?
Perhaps he intends to suggest something himself.
Oh.
Here's a suggestion. It says, George says that every American should have a vacuum cleaner in their basement. What do you think, gentlemen?
Whatever you say, George.
Your name's on it. I'm sure you must have a good reason for suggesting it.
Yes. It's strange. I don't quite... Well, I'm sure I had a reason for it. If there are no objections, we shall add it to the Constitution immediately. No? Good, and so shall it be law.
What's a vacuum cleaner?
There's a...
Excuse me. Yes? Whoa, you're like George Washington. Very much like him, according to my wife, Mrs. Washington. Does Mrs. Washington know you wear so much makeup? One must wear makeup when one receives the phenomenal amount of media attention that I do. It's quite likely that I'll be president soon, you know. Do you think I should be the ecology president or the education president? Depends on how many cherry trees you've chopped down. Well, I am quite the adept tree cutter. Men still tell tales of my youthful prowess. I bet you've lost it. You couldn't cut down a tree to save your grandmother. Lost it, have I? Why, I'd show you a thing or two if there were a cherry tree nearby. But as you can see, there isn't. I only cut down cherry trees. Family tradition, you understand. Cherries only. There's nothing out there but cedar and kumquats.
Thank you. This is exactly the sort of thing I need for the time capsule. I'll bury it tonight, and it won't be seen for hundreds of years. Future generations are in your debt.
Whoa. It's closed. It's open. It's totally covered with crud. I won't be able to get it very clean without soap. I don't wanna. I don't wanna. The water's all sudsy now. Dum-de-dum. Looks like a big storm. See, this is why I never wash my car. Hey, Ben.
What do you want?
Where are you going? What about your experiment?
Even science sometimes gets cold on account of rain, my boy.
But how are you ever going to get lightning if you're not going to stand out in a storm?
To be frank, which I am, I don't know. The science of electrodynamics, much like your mind apparently, is still in a state of relative infancy. Back to the drawing board, I say.
What a genius.
So, Dave, are you going to take credit for the wash your car to make it rain puzzle?
I always feel like I need to both apologize for and defend this puzzle in this game because, I mean, there is a lesson here about how to design puzzles because you always want to make sure that the audience has all of the information that they need in order to make the leap that's going to get them the puzzle solution. And in this case, like I grew up with a father who told me that it was just common knowledge that when you washed your car, it made it rain. So I just assumed that everybody around the globe would understand that, and that we didn't really have to say much
We all found that to be acceptable.
about it.
I think we are like, yep.
A lot of people
that'd be a good puzzle.
have had, a lot of people have come back and complained about that over the years. That was
but
probably fun.
when you do try to wash the Cadillac,
right, there's a great hint. There's another car in there.
What does he say?
It says "wash me" right on there, and when you try to wash it, he says something like, "I don't want to do that because every time I wash my car, it makes it rain."
That I think my judgment is that is absolutely fair.
The hint is in there.
It's
and
right there. It's a big old sign.
And I thought glow-in-the-dark fake doo-doo was such a good idea.
Hey, there's a letter here for you.
For me? Probably another rejection slip. Oh, well. You're brilliant. What a novel design. Come to Baltimore at once.
What's that strange hovering saucer-shaped object?
Huh? I don't see anything.
Oh, never mind. Hi there.
What can I do for you, kid?
Has anyone ever told you you look like Don Amici?
That's strange. My wife says I look like Charlie Parker. So, want another cigar?
Okay, but only if you promise not to light it this time.
Would I do a thing like that? don't get it. Get lost, kid.
Ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. This is that we talked about a little bit when Dave and I played through. But originally, you could play all 3 characters right.
How did we?
I'm trying to remember how we did.
How we referred to it to score it, because we would have had to play the game.
I think what we did, yeah, I'm trying to remember too.
Hold
I think
up a
what we
video
actually,
camera in front of the screen?
I think what we did was we got a save game made,
Oh.
and we would play it to the next, like, place where you could pause, or like we would the next space bar point or something like that, and then we would score it, and then we would make it so that the music, because the thing was that you couldn't rely on the sync, right?
Mm-mm.
So we had to actually make the music interactive in a sense with the scene, so that it could, depending on how fast of a machine you had and how quickly therefore the scene would play, would the music actually hit the right hit points and then proceed correctly to the next hit point.
So we would have an accordion
We basically had an accordion-like structure.
Each little section, it would
Yeah.
sort of pause and then resume at the hit point, or jump to the hit point if the hit point was reached first.
Yeah, and
which
I'm trying to think if we
would be only the fastest machines.
Right.
Excuse me. Yes? Do you really have wooden teeth? As a matter of fact, I do make use of artificial teeth. I find them to be far superior to the ordinary enamel variety. Wow, what do you brush them with? I use a toothbrush, much like everyone else, and a bit of wood polish, of course. Doesn't that taste awful? Not if you take them out first. Well, I gotta go now. Excuse me. Yes? I've been thinking about what you said about cherry trees. Pondering the great truths, eh? Well? Would you give me a demonstration? I don't see why I should. What are you looking at out there? The future of our nation. That young couple by the tree? No. I was just admiring my reflection in the window. Striking, aren't I? I've been thinking about what you said about cherry trees. Pondering the great truths, eh? Well? I bet you've lost it. You couldn't cut down a tree to save your grandmother. Lost it, have I? Why, I'd show you a thing or two if there were a cherry tree nearby. But as you can see, there... Oh, well, what do you know? There is a cherry tree out there. Well, let's go chop the sucker down.
I said come down from there at once!
Try to understand. I'm stuck in this...
Voila! You're quite a man. Yes, I know. I waited, but she never picked it up. I hope she's okay.
Get me out of here! I haven't done anything.
Well, you must have done something or you wouldn't be here now, would you? You'd be out in the lobby with your tentacle owner getting dressed up for the human show.
Owner? No one owns me.
Gosh, no owner, you say? Well, don't worry about it. I'm sure someone will come adopt you before we have to put you to sleep.
Damn that Dr. Fred.
Hey, she knows the Edison family motto.